cost. This is another page that will be in the program itself for the BuyerTour. So you can have a down payment, loan fee, document fee, and you actually have the ability to add an item. You can edit it or delete it if you'd like to. So you can make this, create this and save this just like you did the loan types. You can do a save buyer's cost as well and have different names for it. So the next one is buyer consultation. So here's an example of what the buyer consultation is. These are essentially a checkoff list that's within the BuyerTour that when you're sitting down talking with somebody. Like here it says, explain the need to meet with a lender to determine if a buyer is qualified to buy. It's a checkoff list for, you can go through each one of these with the person. You can take some of these out, add a buyer consultation item here as well if you want to. Now is to show the order. Once you click show order, it's going to show the properties. And you can change these orders if you'd like. So if you want this one moved up, I just moved this one up to the top. So the driving directions are going to be from your order here. So I'm going to click on driving directions. You can add additional addresses in here if you want to as well. So we're going to do 14 Azalea Drive, Binghamton, New York. Hit OK. Now up here at the top, your next step, because you're almost completed, typically in this circumstance, you really wouldn't use the present. This is if you're in front of somebody. If you're at their home and you're presenting this, and you have internet access, you can actually show the BuyerTour in this manner if you'd like to. This is usually used in a CMA protocol when you're actually trying to list a property. Sometimes you can do it this way. So it's going to have your information in here. I'll put Mr. Buyer, New York, etc. Here I am, prepared by me. You can go through each one of these as far as your BuyerTour is concerned. But the big step over here is to go to Publish. So when you go to the Publish tab, it's going to bring up different themes that you can use as far as how the actual program looks. So we've got a RealtyUSA theme, of course, for the BuyerTour. So you can either print the report out, create the PDF, you can email the report to someone, or you can post the report to the web, for instance. You'll also see where it says one listing with buyer. You can do it one listing with the neighborhood information, one listing with a map. You can do one listing with a loan analysis, or one listing per page. And essentially what this is saying is for each page, there's going to be one listing on one page, and you'll have these additional information pieces on that page itself. So say, for instance, I like the one with the notepad, for instance. Now I'm actually going to create a link and post this link. So watch this, we're going to create the actual link itself. So it'll bring it up in just a second where there'll be an actual link. So that link you can post anywhere you'd like to, or send the link itself to someone. Like if I'm coming from Atlanta, I'm going to move up to your area. You could actually send me this link, and I actually can go into my program. So I'm like using Firefox here, for instance. I'm going to paste the link in here because I'm the consumer, Mr. Larry Looker. And it's going to bring up the actual BuyerTour that you created as an agent. So you picked these 4 particular properties. So I'm coming up to New York, for instance. We're going to look at homes this weekend. So this is what I would see as the buyer. Or you can print these out yourself and hand them to the buyers when you come meet them to go out and show properties. So here's a little bit of information about RealtyUSA, core values, first priority mortgage. Then the actual tour itself, it's going to have your personal and professional information. I don't have a lot of information in here because I didn't fill a lot of this out. This is just as a demonstration. So it talks about our company. You can take this page out if you'd like or keep it in. Understanding the buying process. These are some of the pages that are in here. So buyer consultation. Talked about that a moment ago. These are items you can add that you can talk to. Choose a licensed home and termite inspector. Buyer consultation. Again, this is it. The more you have in there, this will also fill out more as well. So property information. Tour analysis. We're going to see 4 homes today. Here's the addresses. Here's a map and tour of the properties. You need to remember that whatever level that you zoomed in and out of on that map, so I zoomed out real far, so that's why you do not see the maps on here. So this is something you need to be aware of when you do that. So you need to go further in and zoom in so it'll all show up. Tour properties map listing index. Listing prices, the date listed. Here's the driving directions. We're starting off at that very first listing. Our distance today is 24.7 miles. So if they were following you, you could give this to the buyers if you wanted to. Property information. So here's the property information itself. Here's where you can do a comment sheet about it as well. So there'll be a property information for each one of the properties that we're going to go see today with your consumers. Header information, it's all branded to RealtyUSA itself. So we're on the 4th property. All the information that comes out of your MLS. Loan analysis we talked about a minute ago. Loan scenarios. Here's the actual buyer comment sheet. We can really put a lot more comments in. So there'll be 4 buyer comment sheets as well. This is really relevant, so you can sit down at the end of the day with your buyers. Make sure that they fill these sheets out so you can talk to them at the end of the day, especially if you're going to show them a lot of different listings during the day. When you sit down with them at the end of the day, you can figure out which ones to take out as well. Here's kind of a net sheet. Here's what you need. Estimate funds required from the buyer. And that's it as far as that's concerned. So you can send the link and send this as an email, print this out if you would like to, in order to give it to your buyers. So from this here, you can do the email report or print the report. The print the report will be creating the PDF here on the fly and printing it out as well. There are different theme looks you can use as well. Here's winter, there's tennis, sweet home. You don't necessarily have to use RealtyUSA if you do not want to. You can pick from the themes here as well. There's modern, patriotic, rooftop, spring. You can pull from there as well. On the left-hand side, there's different tours. There's an office caravan one, open house if you're going to do an open house tour, a local buyer tour, a buyer tour with schools as well. So as an example, if you want to see what's actually in this report, just click the right-hand side and it'll come up with what's in it. And here's the different pages as well. If you want to change things around, go to Edit. So you can add additional, like tour driving directions, loan analysis. These are additional pages that you can add into here as well, just by clicking these. You'll notice as I keep clicking this, it'll keep putting it back in or out. You can change the pages around as well if you would like to. But typically, all of the modules are set up in a format that best helps you as an agent, especially with the buyer tour, a neighborhood report, or the CMA. I'm not going to save this report, but I'm going to hit cancel. One last item. You could create these buyer tours and name them something different and save them here as well. If you have to log off here without saving, if you want to do those, you want to actually save the report. If you remember, just type in whatever you want to here and then hit OK. But if you have to jump off the computer, you want to go back in and log into eNeighborhoods and go back to your session, you can go to where it says unsaved session. So each time you've logged off here and haven't saved, there will be an unsaved session here, so you won't ever lose your work. So that's BuyerTour in a nutshell. As I said before, pretty much everything is, whether what module you're in, everything is always from left to right. There's always a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 typically is the order that you're going to progress, and actually creating either the BuyerTour, the CMA, or the Neighborhood Envoy. So I appreciate your time today. Happy selling. We'll have links to these webinars as well, so if you need to go back in and take a look at them and refresh your memory, you can do that as well. I appreciate it, and you all have a good day today, and happy selling.